Hello everyone, glad to see you again. Welcome back to Pacific Front channel. 2021 almost comes to an end, a year where we are still in the middle of a pandemic. However, in the defense sector, Indonesia made a lot of progress to modernize its equipment. This year, the Indonesian Armed Forces procure new ships, aircraft, and vehicles to meet the intended target of minimum essential force in 2024. What military equipment did they buy this year? Well, that's exactly what we're gonna discuss in today's video. We're gonna look at everything that the Indonesian Armed Forces ordered, received, and commissioned month by month. So, without further ado, let's jump into the video. In January 2021, Indonesian shipbuilder PT PAL launched the first purposely built hospital ship for the Indonesian Navy. Given a name KRI Dr. Wahidin Sudirohusodo 991, she has a medical facility equivalent to Type C hospital, including the emergency room, surgery room, radiology, clinics, and more. During the Ministry of Defense leadership meeting, the Indonesian Defense Minister handed over 40 Maung tactical vehicle to the Indonesian Army. It was the first batch from a total of 500 vehicles ordered by the Ministry of Defense in mid-2020. Besides Maung tactical vehicle, the Ministry of Defense also bought 1,000 ventilator, 25,000 weapons, and 4 billion ammunition from Pindad. The Navy and the Army were not the only ones who got new toys this month. At the end of January, the Air Force got one NAS-332 C1 Plus Super Puma and one N212I aircraft from Indonesian Aerospace. Both aircraft made a ferry flight to their respective home base. The Super Puma is operated by the 6th Air Squadron in Atang Sanjaya Air Force Base, and the N212I aircraft is operated by the 4th Air Squadron in Abdul Rahman Saleh Air Force Base. Move forward to October 2021, the second N212I aircraft was delivered to the Air Force. The Indonesian Air Force ordered 9 N212I aircraft back in 2017. 4 in troop transport configuration, 4 in Rainmaker configuration, and 1 for navigation training. In February, the Indonesian Aerospace handed over another helicopter, but this time, the Indonesian Army was the customer. The third NBEL 412 EPI was delivered to the Army's Aviation Center in Malang, East Java, from a total of 9 aircraft ordered back in 2018. It's equipped with a full glass cockpit, more powerful engine, and more. Until 6 December 2021, 7 aircraft have been delivered in total, while the 8th is scheduled for delivery at the end of the month, and the last one in January 2022. During the Air Force leadership meeting on 18 February, we finally had a glimpse of the replacement of the retired F-5 Tiger. During his speech, the Chief of Staff of the Air Force mentioned the procurement plan of Dassault Rafale and Boeing F-15EX. Although until today, the possibility of getting the F-15EX still small since the aircraft itself had just been introduced and still in testing. Dassault Aviation, on the other hand, moved quickly by sending its official to visit the Indonesian Aerospace facility for possible offset. However, as we all learn, funding is still the biggest issue why we haven't heard about the contract agreement of the Rafale. I hope after the French Foreign Minister visited Indonesia last month, a solution can be made. In March, PT PAL handed over the third Nagapasa-class submarine to the Ministry of Defense and then to the Indonesian Navy. Named KRI Alugoro 405, she was the first ever submarine which was assembled in Indonesia. A month later, she was commissioned by the Navy in a ceremony held on 6 April 2021. Also in this month, the second 2+2 meeting between Indonesia's Foreign and Defense Minister and its Japan counterpart was held in Japan. Even though the Japan Foreign Ministry press release didn't explicitly mention it, the pact signed between both defense ministers was an indication that the negotiation to procure 6 to 8 Mogami-class frigates is still ongoing. I hope we can get the answer in early 2022. Besides the launching ceremony of the KF-21 in South Korea, I can't remember if there was any procurement or delivery of military equipment in April. At that time, both parties were still in negotiation whether Indonesia would continue or not. And as we learned in last month's monthly video, Indonesia is still on the program and will pay its shares until 2026. This month was also a sad month for all of us because of the sinking of KRI Nanggala. Once again, my deepest condolences for the family and friends of the sailors involved in the tragedy. Fair winds and following seas KRI Nanggala, you will always be remembered. As far as I remember, there was no procurement contract or delivery of military equipment in May as well. I only remember that in this month, the prototype of the X-18 tank boat was launched and underwent sea trials and firing tests. Although it's called the tank boat, the armament on top of the roof was 30 mm, so combat boat is more suitable for this prototype. In June 2021, this was when things got more exciting, because this month, Frame won the Indonesian Navy's frigate procurement program. The Vincentiary website stated that the contract includes 6 Frame and 2 modernized Mistral-class frigates. 4 Frame will be built in Italy and 2 in Indonesia. The contract value is reported around $4.2 billion for 8 vessels. Having said that, we still don't know when the contract will become active and when the vessels will be built. In a video released on 21 June, the Indonesian Navy has begun receiving Boeing In Situ Scan Eagle UAV, donated by the US government. In the video, it was said that they have received 14 Scan Eagle for the newly established 700 Air Squadron. The UAV were provided as part of a grant by the US government under the Maritime Security Initiative or MSI, a US capacity building program for the Southeast Asian navies. Besides Indonesia, Malaysia, the Philippines, and Vietnam also received this grant. In July, Korea Aerospace Industries or KAI announced that they won a $240 million deal to provide the Indonesian Air Force with 6 T-50I Golden Eagle and advanced support. With this new contract, it will bring the Indonesian Air Force T-50 fleet to 20 aircraft. The contract period was set to run from December 2021 to October 2024. However, the contract is preamble in nature and will only be enforced once the company receives advance payment. When I'm preparing for this video, there's still no sign that the payment has been made. In August, private shipbuilder PT Daya Radar Utama or DRU carried out a first steel cutting ceremony of 2 OPVs for the Indonesian Navy. The 2 vessels, designated as OPV and OPV-90, are meant to strengthen Indonesian naval power and to fulfill a gap between patrol boats and corvette. A new development in November reported that the OPV-90 will be equipped with advanced combat management system made by Havelsan Turkey, and the hardware and sensors will be supplied by Thales Netherlands. During this month, we also saw the launching ceremony and ship naming of KRI Golok, a trimaran fast attack craft made by North Sea Boat. She was the replacement of KRI Klewang, which was born 10 years ago. According to the Chief of Staff of the Navy, she will be used for development purposes. The Indonesian Navy keeps getting good news every month. In September, Babcock International and the Indonesian Ministry of Defense signed an agreement to sell a design license of Arrowhead 140 frigate. The design license will enable PAL to build 2 Arrowhead 140 frigates in Indonesia with bespoke design modification for the Indonesian Navy. This agreement is the replacement of the Iver-Huitfeldt contract made several years before, not an additional contract to reinforce the Iver-Huitfeldt orders. Halfway around the world, the Indonesian Air Force has confirmed the procurement of 6 C-130J Super Hercules, making it the biggest Hercules modernization effort since the 1980s. No further information about the time of delivery of the aircraft available at the moment. On 26 October, Indonesia's Ministry of Defense handed over to Bintuni-class landing ship tank for the Indonesian Navy in a ceremony held at PT Bandar Abadi Shipyard in Batam, Indonesia. The 2 vessels were named KRI Teluk Weda 526 and KRI Teluk Wondama 527. Until 2024, the Navy plans to have 12 vessels of this class to strengthen its amphibious unit. In a video released on 28 October, the Army held a handover event of every vehicle they bought in the fiscal year 2020-2021. A total of 353 vehicles were shown during that event, including 235 motorcycles, 6 administrative vehicles, 55 tactical vehicles, and 57 special vehicles. Those vehicles were symbolically handed over to the respective units at the same time. As we already discussed last month, the hottest topic of November was the procurement of 2 Airbus A400M multi-role tanker and transport aircraft. The agreement was signed at Dubai Air Show 2021 with a letter of intent for 4 additional aircraft. According to Airbus press release, the contract will become effective in 2022. However, the value of the deal and the estimated date for the initial delivery of the aircraft had not been disclosed by Airbus at the time of publication. And lastly, on 5 December 2021, PT PAL delivered another vessel for the Navy. This time was the first batch 3 of 60-meter fast attack craft named KRI Kapak 625. She is the fifth vessel of Sampari-class fast attack craft with several improvements, including a bigger main gun using the Bofors 57mm Mark III, more powerful engine, and rearrangement of the interior of the vessel. Furthermore, the vessel will also be equipped with the Exocet anti-ship missile, rather than the Chinese C-705. I guess that's conclude all of Indonesia's defense procurement in 2021. At least, that's what I can report for the time being. So, as for the recap, this year, the Indonesian Air Force received 2 N212I and 1 Super Puma, ordered 6 T-51 Golden Eagle, 6 C-130J Super Hercules, and 2 Airbus A400M MRTT, and still negotiating for the 36 Rafale and 8 F-15EX. For the Army, they received 40 Maung tactical vehicles, 353 new vehicles of various types, including the P6 ATAV that we already discussed before, and will receive a total of 6 NBEL 412 EPI at the end of the month. And lastly, the Navy received 1 hospital ship, 1 submarine, 2 LSTs, 2 fast attack craft, and 14 Scan Eagle. Ordered 6 Frame-class frigates and 2 Mistral from Vincentieri, 2 OPVs from PTDRU, and 2 Arrowhead frigates from Babcock International. And they're still negotiating for the procurement of Mogami-class frigates. There you have it, every military equipment that the Indonesian Armed Forces bought in 2021. Which procurement contract do you think is the most noticeable one? Share with us in the comment section below. With all that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family. Check out my merch store, the link is in the description below. Subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one.